What's up, y'all? It's M5X Ethan here. Today we're out riding on the CRF 300L 2025. Coming at you with a mod review today. Where's the bike? Down there. Bike has been running absolutely awesome all day. Got about 1,200 miles on it now, and I figured I'd make a little video showing you guys what kind of mods I've got done if you want to build your own. So I figured it would be best to go in order of which mods I've done from beginning to end. This bike is not super modified, there's not a whole lot of stuff for it out yet, but I do got a few little things that pretty much every enduro or dual sport owner should run on their bike. The first thing that I did on this bike, probably within like 2 weeks of getting it, immediately swapped out the handguards. I got these very nice Acerbis handguards which match the graphics of the bike and the plastics, I think, way better than the stock ones. I actually didn't mind the stock handguards, but let my dad ride it for a day, and he kind of ripped them both off. He claims a tree hit him, if that makes any sense. So it kind of gave us the excuse to throw on these nice Acerbis little guys. I think these handguards complement this bike really well, way better than the stock ones. And I think if you're gonna have an enduro bike or a dual sport, you gotta run some handguards on there better than the stock ones, because, I mean, nobody wants to break their hands, right? As a necessity, I would rate this about a 7 to 8 out of 10. Definitely should invest in a set of good handguards. They're not that expensive and they will make your bike pop. Install was pretty easy. I actually had my buddy, he put them on for me while I wasn't looking, and I appreciate him for that. They also have these really cool blue inserts underneath the back, and I think that just looks really cool when you're riding. The very next mod I did, about a week after the handguards, was the skid plate. This bike has no skid plate from the factory, which is pretty common with most of the Japanese bikes coming out right now, specifically in the 300cc dual sport class. I don't think the KLX 300 has a stock skid plate. I might be wrong, but this bike needed a skid plate. I was not gonna ride this thing off-road without a skid plate any longer. We got this skid plate off of Amazon, and I don't even remember the name of the company that makes it, but it was not very expensive at all, and it is very durable. It's held up really well, and I only have like one little complaint about it, to be honest. When we got the skid plate on the bike at first, the bolts did kind of start to unwind a little bit, and I did have to retighten them a few times, but I threw a little Loctite on them, and ever since then they've been pretty much flawless. The bike did have a bit of a nasty sound and rattle for like a week or so, but once everything set in and the thing became like fully solid after being tightened properly, it's been great. The thing makes no noises. It definitely works because I hear things smacking off of it every time I'm off-road. So I would definitely recommend the skid plate. Another thing that you should always have as an enduro or off-road rider on any bike, race bike, dual sport, enduro bike, whatever you're riding, a skid plate can't hurt. I would rate the skid plate at about a 9 out of 10 necessity for any off-road bike. Definitely invest in a skid plate, especially if you're buying a 2025 CRF 300L. And the last mod that I have done on this bike, I know it's not a long list, but there's not a whole lot out for it yet at the moment, and I just wanted to get the big things out of the way first, just like any rider would. The last thing that I've done, if you see my last video, you'll see the full install and tutorial and the sound of it, will be this slip-on right here. This Dominator slip-on and mid-pipe has absolutely made this bike an absolute different monster. Since my last video, I have removed the baffle from the exhaust. Not really by choice, it may or may not have fallen out. Not that that's on Dominator's part. I did loosen it just to see how it would sound, and I may or may not have not really tightened it back up enough, and I think it fell out at some point when I'm riding, but the bike still sounds great with and without the baffle, so I'm really not losing any sleep over it. Maybe eventually I'll have to order a new one if I could find one. But yeah, I would definitely rate this as a definitely not a need it mod, but if you enjoy riding, you're gonna want this mod. Whenever you get a good exhaust on a bike, especially one louder than the stock EP RTA stupid crappy can that they come with stock, it's gonna feel like you got a whole new bike. I have been riding this thing even more than I was with the stock pipe now. I just love this exhaust. I do live in a pretty highly saturated cop area. There's lots of cops around here, and some of them are cool, some of them not so much. And it does definitely make me check behind my back quite a bit running this exhaust, because it is so loud. Probably one of the loudest exhausts you could get for the 300. But other than that, it's absolutely fantastic. I would totally recommend this mod. I'm gonna rate this one about a 9.5 out of 10 for the sound and the fun, but probably like a 3 out of 10 for how much you really need it. It does give you a bit more power, a bit more torque, not a whole lot, but a little bit. You're gonna feel a much more linear torque curve, and in the middle of the RPM, the bike comes alive a little more than with the stock pipe. And of course, it sounds absolutely awesome. I'll insert some sound clips. Thanks for watching, you guys. This wasn't a super long video, but hopefully I'll be able to make an extended mod list on this bike when more stuff comes out and I can start throwing more money at it. Make sure to like and subscribe for more, and drop some suggestions. I'm new to this whole YouTube thing, and I'd like to make some more content for you guys. Later.